we've done in Ohio and what a president needs to do is to have a cabinet and a whole operation that's jobs friendly. We have diversified our economy. We do have energy, we have medical devices, we have financial services, we have IT. We just got Amazon, their cloud computing in the Midwest. You know why it's happening? Because we're balanced budgets, we're strong, we're job friendly, we don't raise their taxes, and if we have a president that does that in America, we will get the economic growth, and that is what this country needs. Jobs, jobs, and jobs, period.
Ohio Governor John Kasich tonight talking about the importance of jobs as he runs for the top job in the United States of America. The governor there, along with 4 other candidates for the Republican nomination from the University of Houston in Houston, Texas. Let's continue our Newsmax TV debate special by welcoming back the former Lieutenant Governor of New York, Betsy McCaughey, and nationally syndicated talk radio host Joe Pags. So it's an interesting situation, Betsy, because there's Kasich, who has a proven record in Ohio, who I served with in the Congress. He balanced 4 budgets, but this has just been something that really has, despite his record, has not been the main selling point. It's not really worked for him in the competition thus far, nor tonight in the debate.
Well, that's right. That was his best soundbite by far tonight. And jobs is the major issue in this country. Growth is an anemic, almost zero at this point. It should be 4% or more. But Kasich just doesn't have the charisma to capture the audience. The best statement by Donald Trump was his closing argument when he said politicians are all talk and no action. His record as a businessman is convincing Americans that he will produce jobs in this country, that he will get the job done.
And when we take a look, we've been talking about the top job. Joe Pags, what about the second spot on the ticket? Because you take a look at electoral reality, and this rule may have been made to be broken, but no Republican has ever won the White House without Ohio. Is there a situation, though he might deny it, that John Kasich is really perhaps better suited to the second spot on the ticket?
Well, I think that's what he's vying for, JD. I mean, we heard a lot of stories this week where John Kasich was actually calling for Marco Rubio, who's done so much better than he's doing, to drop out of the race because it would give him a better chance to beat Hillary or something. A lot of people are starting to speculate that the angle really for Kasich is that of a vice president. And of those 5 on the stage, I think that he's the one guy. If you asked me the question and I had to give you my straight answer, he's the one guy who would be very happy to be vice president. I think everybody else out there is the alpha. And I think that John Kasich thinks, well, that role would make sense for me, and that would sort of cap off my career. I do think that he's probably in it for that, and I think you're absolutely right by bringing up Ohio. It's very, very important to win that state. A Kasich dropping out and endorsing you and possibly getting some sort of a cabinet position, potentially vice president, will go a long way to help the person who is in the front and who eventually gets the nomination.
Yeah, but the dynamic at work is everybody wants to be the alpha. Nobody wants to step back and be the beta. The only
guy... It happened tonight, right?
Yeah. The only guy I've seen ever come up about the vice presidency was a guy by the name of Dan Quayle in 1988, going to national reporters saying, you know, I'd be interested in this. And lo and behold, George Herbert Walker Bush picked him for that job in the 88 campaign. Obviously, the top job is what it's all about. Betsy, you're no stranger to this. If you had advice for all of these guys, what would be your one rule? About 30 seconds.
Well, certainly for Kasich, and he's already observed it, he hasn't picked a fight with the top guys, and that makes it easier for him to slide into that number 2 spot. So a Trump-Kasich ticket, for example, very plausible.
And Joe, as a master in communication, you may not have run for public office, but is there one thing every candidate ought to be doing that they haven't done tonight?
Well, yeah, it's a great question. I think that this is going to sound odd being as conservative as I am, but I think the others need to really pay attention to what Donald Trump is doing. And what he's doing is he's saying things that are broad-reaching. He's saying things that will grab people who necessarily aren't focused on the issues like the 3 of us are.
Fair enough. We will have to leave it there. Unfortunately, another issue, Joe, and that 4-letter word time. This reminder, Mike Huckabee will join us in a few minutes. In the interim, who do you think won tonight's debate? Why don't you log in and tell us at newsmaxpolls.com.